always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Always was, always will be
Aboriginal land.
Always was, always will be
Aboriginal land.
Just as sovereignty was never ceded here in this country, it was never ceded in Palestine. From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
and as we continue to advocate for the rights of Palestinians, we need to continue to advocate for the rights of our First Nations brothers, sisters and siblings here on this continent as well. Because this land always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Friends, it has been 449 days since Israel accelerated its genocide of Palestine. Shame.
Shame.
449 days of global complicity. Shame. 449 days of media complicity. Shame. 449 days of humanity failing itself. Shame. This week, as we saw Christmas come and go, as we are about to welcome in the new year, Israel has reminded us just how much we need to continue the fight, just how much we need to keep going, just how much we need to continue to resist, just how much it is intent on committing genocide before our eyes without any consideration for humanity, human life, or international law. Shame.
Shame.
Just yesterday, over 37 Palestinians were killed in Gaza within 24 hours.
Shame.
Shame. The international community is watching. We are all watching. And yet, Israel decides to attack and burn a hospital. Shame. That shame should and could be louder. Shame! Hospitals should not be a target. Civilians are not a target. Healthcare workers are not a target. Palestinians are not a target.
Not a target.
We need to continue to remain steadfast. We need to continue to demand justice. These crimes cannot be normalized. They should not be normalized. We are about to enter another year. I remember when we all stood here before we welcomed in 2024, and how we could not believe that the new year was coming and the genocide was still ongoing. We are about to welcome in 2025. And somehow the crimes that we are witnessing are worse than they were 12 months ago. Somehow our government is refusing to impose sanctions on Israel. Somehow our government has refused to impose sanctions and boycotts after 14 months of an ongoing escalated genocide. There has been absolutely no space for the international community, for any individual to deny the atrocities that are happening right now. And yet our government refuses to take action. We need to continue to be here and remind our government and the rest of the world what is right, what is humane and what is just. If you were not all out here each and every single week, imagine how much worse the atrocities would be. We have successfully kept our eyes on Gaza. We have successfully kept our eyes on Palestine for the last 14, 15 months. We need to keep them on them. We need to keep watching. We need to keep exposing the atrocities that are unfolding. And we need to keep demanding justice until Palestine is free. From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free.
Now we have a couple of speakers that have agreed to join us here up on the stage today. I want to begin by welcoming our first speaker, Mohammed Helmi. Now, I'm sure many of you will know Mohammed. He has been advocating for a free Palestine alongside each and every single one of you. Please join me in welcoming Mohammed. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine.
Assalamu alaikum everybody, peace be upon you. It's fantastic that we can see the turn up today despite being in a holiday season, because while we get a chance to take a break, the people in Gaza do not have the opportunity to take a break. And as we go through our holiday season here, hospitals are being burned, evacuated, sick people and injured people are being thrown on the street to freeze. 4 children have frozen to death over the last few days. But I'm here to talk to you today about a story that you may have heard about, but probably have not heard about enough. And I've been closely involved with that case recently. It is the case of Naarm Abu Isn't. And I'm just interested to know how many people have heard that name over the last couple of weeks before. If you, maybe a show of hands quickly. Okay, so only a few people. So I'm going to say the story. Naarm Abu Isn't is a 20-year-old Australian dentistry student of Palestinian origin. She's Australian, her parents are Australian, her mother is a dentist, her father is a lecturer in medicine in one of the prominent universities in Victoria. Naarm was studying in a university in East Jerusalem in her 3rd year of dentistry. And she was, so East Jerusalem is a non-combat area. She was in her dormitory studying in her pajamas. There was some sort of an activity on the street, and her, the other person in her dormitory went close to the window to see what's going on. A shot was fired towards the window. The shot is of the bullet used is of an explosive type of bullet, which is designed to cause maximum bodily damage without killing. It's an internationally banned type of bullet, fired by an IDF soldier towards their dormitory while they were inside the dormitory studying. Naarm was in her pajamas. The bullet went through the window. Shrapnels hit Naarm in her eye and in multiple other areas. There were shrapnels in her skull, in her eye, in her right eye, in her chest. Naarm has lost sensation in part of her skull, and she has lost her right eye. Naarm's family sought help from the Australian embassy. Some help was given, but Naarm is not a white person. Naarm is Palestinian. She's an Arab. She's a person of color, and she's a Muslim. She did not get a medical evacuation. In fact, the Palestinian ambulance was not able to reach her for hours because of the presence of the IDF. They are not allowed to enter an area where the IDF are operating. Eventually, they got to her. There was not enough help provided by the embassy. Eventually, she was taken to a hospital in East Jerusalem. They told her that your eye cannot be recovered. She was evacuated with some minor help from the Australian embassy to Jordan, and they told her the same story. Eventually, she made it to Melbourne, where she was, she went to hospital straight from the airport. I was there at the airport, and she was told the same story. Her eye had to be removed 2 days ago. Naarm's dream in life is to be a dentist. She approached some universities to try and continue her studies here in Australia instead of having to go back. And she was told that she cannot be a dentist with one eye. The worst of this story is yet to come. Number one, we do not know yet of the identity of the person he shot. Naarm could have very well be an Australian serving in the IDF. The second part is the level of support of the Australian government. If you compare that, had she been a white person, a medical evacuation would have been organized immediately. It took more than 4 or 5 days for her to be evacuated out of East Jerusalem. And I would also say this, and maybe this is not something that has been in the media. The family of Naarm has approached our Premier in Victoria, Jacinta Allen, seeking to meet with her, seeking some help, some support, perhaps a letter of support so Naarm can continue her studies in Australia. And Jacinta has not accepted to meet the family to date. As we speak today, all she did was get one of her advisors to speak to the family. And no meeting was accepted. I spoke to Gabrielle de Vitry, the Greens Member of Parliament, to seek some help on the matter, and she posed a question in Parliament to our Premier and asked her, would you meet the family of Naarm Abu Iznad? And her response in Parliament was that they provided support through a Palestinian community organization. And I can tell you that now that this is categorically a lie in Parliament. A lie in Parliament. No help was provided from any Palestinian local organization, nor did the family ask for anybody to speak on their behalf, except for the Islamic Council of Victoria, who the Premier also ignored the requests for a meeting with the family. Today, our Premier has refused to meet Naarm's family because clearly she is not Australian enough in her eyes. Naarm continues to be, continues to seek medical support in Melbourne, and her future is still unknown. She is hoping, I guess, that at least an investigation will be carried out as to why an explosive shot was fired at her dormitory while she was in her pajamas, sitting in her dormitory. Why an Australian overseas victim of war has not received a medical evacuation by Australian authorities in East Jerusalem or in Jordan. And the story goes on, but it's important, I thought it's important that everybody is aware of this. Naarm is Australian. Her parents are Australian. Her color and how she dresses should not take away from her rights as an Australian, but unfortunately it does, and we all need to be aware of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Muhammad. Naarm's story highlights the reality of Palestinians. Naarm is fortunate enough to be Australian, to be able to come and escape the genocide in Palestine. But the scars of the genocide are literally all over her body. They will live with her forever, just as it will live with each and every single Palestinian that continues to live in Gaza and in Palestine, in the West Bank and throughout the rest of Palestine, and each and every single Palestinian within the diaspora. Palestinians are being left not only mourning their relatives, but also with disabilities beyond our imagination. Each and every single Palestinian is a human being, a life that worth caring about. The consequences of our government's inaction will live on each and every single one of them. Their inability to walk because they've lost limbs. Their inability to complete daily tasks because they've lost their arms. Their inability to see because they were subjected to ongoing genocide. Because they were subjected to weapons that Israel is testing on them. Shame! Continue to keep each and every single Palestinian in your mind and in your heart. They're not just figures. Each and every single person is a human being with a life, with hopes and dreams. Just like each and every single one of you. Their life is equal to each and every single one of us. We cannot lose sight of that. The media, our government, Israel is trying to dehumanize Palestinians, trying to make us feel like they're just something that we talk about. They are not. They are not. The same way they are being subjected to violence, the same way that they are being subjected to disabilities and long-standing trauma, it could equally be any single one of us. Do not lose sight of that. Each and every single time you hear about a Palestinian, put yourself in their shoes. Each and every single time you hear about somebody being murdered, about a mother mourning the death of her young infant child, put yourself in their shoes. Do not allow them to be dehumanized. Because in our thousands, in our millions,
We are all Palestinians.
in our thousands, in our millions.
We are all Palestinians.
Now, healthcare workers have been a target. Shamefully.
Shame.
And healthcare workers here on this continent have stood for justice alongside each and every single one of you. Today, we are fortunate to have Nurses and Midwives for Palestine join us. Please welcome Matu and Nurses and Midwives for Palestine. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Kia ora te whānau, kia ora. My name is Matu. It's a Māori name. I am Māori. My great-great-great-grandmother had 88 acres taken from her because of her brown skin. My ancestors compel me to be here. I stand and salute Aboriginal sovereignty of land. I stand and salute in solidarity with Palestinians. This is their land and it is being stolen. My ancestors compel me to be here, just as your ancestors compel you. I am a nurse with the Nurses and Midwives for Palestine. Our moral code, our ethical code, the code that we swear when we care for others compel us to be here. Nurses and Midwives for Palestine will not be silent in face of this genocide. I acknowledge the nurses and midwives who turn up for work wearing kafirs, wearing badges of solidarity, wearing scrubs, and face intimidation, and face conversations with their managers, are silenced, are asked to go home, asked to remove pins, asked to not discuss Palestine at work. Shame on the CEOs of hospitals that sign MOUs with Israeli hospitals.
Shame!
Peter MacCallum Cancer Hospital has an MOU with an Israeli hospital, lending legitimacy to a genocidal state.
Shame!
That MOU must end.
Shame.
Yes!
You cannot lend legitimacy to a state that is committing medicide. Medicide is a new term, had to be invented because of the destruction of hospitals, the murder of nurses. Gaza's nurses do not go to work to die, but yet they are killed.
Shame!
Gaza's doctors do not go to work to die, yet they are killed.
Shame!
We stand in solidarity with the Kamal Adwan Hospital, which has just been torched to the ground.
Shame!
Healthcare workers around the world are standing up and mobilising. From America to Ireland, to Australia, to Aotearoa, New Zealand, we are standing. Be prepared to see more of us as we stand against the medicide, the destruction of healthcare, the destruction of Palestinian futures.
Yes!
It's by no coincidence that IDF burned down the pathology lab and the medical record labs at the Kamal Adwan
They're
Hospital.
disgusting.
Because what it contains is evidence.
Yes.
Israeli bullets, samples of weapons of mass destruction, chemical weapons are stored in those places. So naturally they were destroyed. Shame on their descent into barbarity. But we will not be silenced. Every single day we will turn up for work, we will care, we will be the best professionals we can be, but in our heart burns grief, burns rage for Palestine. Naarm have a doctor who is now in custody in an Israeli prison from Jordan. He went on a mission with Naarm, which is an Australian medical aid charity, and we call for his immediate release. We also call for the immediate release of Dr. Hissam, who has valiantly stood against the IDF in that hospital and cared for people even though he was shot and wounded himself. We call for his immediate release. We call for our government and governments around the world to protect him, to protect all healthcare workers, protect all patients. Hospitals are not a target. Healthcare workers are not a target. Nurses are not a target. Doctors are not a target. Patients are not a target.
Not a target!
Thank you.
Thank you so much, nurses and midwives of Palestine. Just a couple of community announcements. If anybody is willing and able to assist with marshalling, please head to outside Foot Locker to join the marshals. The marshals play an integral role in keeping the rallies safe. So please, if you're willing and able, please join them. You'll see Free Palestine Melbourne are bobbing around with some tins collecting loose change and coins donations. If you have any change on you, please donate generously. Each and every single cent counts towards helping make sure that these rallies are ongoing and that we're facilitating these protests and making sure that as many people as possible know about these protests as well. So thank you to everybody who donates and thank you to everybody who continues to show up. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Another announcement, Naarm for Palestine is hosting a picnic this Monday, which starts at 2 p.m. at All Nations Park. Please make sure that you join, bring a plate to share. It's going to be a really great space for people to come together and just really connect. The movement isn't only about grieving, but having these spaces to actually collectively come together and talk about our experiences and talk about how we can strategize and liberate Palestine as well. So please make sure that you, if you're able, if you're in the area, that you do join. This Monday coming. Tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Now, as you all know, we really try to make sure that we are platforming struggle, not only on this continent, not only in Palestine, but across movements. Because we understand that none of us are free until we are all free. We need to continue to expose injustice wherever it is occurring. Today, we are joined by Irfan Ali, who is a member of the Northwest Pakistan community, Karachina. Please join me in welcoming Irfan. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum. First of all, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to show you the atrocities happening in the other parts of the world too. Thank you so much. First of all, I will introduce myself and my community. My name is Irfan Ali and I am from the Palestine community who are sitting, this is the second day we are sitting there and protesting against the oppression and the atrocities happening in a very small town called Palestine. It's situated, located in the northwest of Pakistan and surrounded by Afghanistan. Now, if you ask every single kid in Palestine about Palestine, about Gaza, they know about it. If you ask about the atrocities of the Israelis and the big dogs, they know about it. But what we call Palestine is the Gaza of Pakistan. I will show you there is another Gaza in Pakistan too that's been under siege for the last 81 days. And in these 81 days, the only linking road that is connecting Palestine to the rest of the country is being under the control by the terrorists, and I will openly call it's being the state-funded terrorists. No communication, no food supplies, no medicine supplies, nothing at all, and in result, these kids, there are only few pictures, but 101 infants and kids lost their lives because they were not getting their medicines on time. The adults figure that's a different one. The atrocities that's happening in Palestine, it's being controlled wholly solely by the government and the establishment. We always supported Palestine. And brothers and sisters, we will support Palestine. And we always support Palestine. And that's what we are punished for. Our convoys were attacked. And sorry to say, you might not hear these words, but there's atrocities happening in Palestine, and we are all very used to with these kind of tragedies, that they shot a 6-month-old baby in his mouth. The women who were wearing gold rings, they were not able to take the gold rings, so they cut their fingers off. The aged who were in their 80s and 70s, who were not able to leave the vans or coaches or cars, they were slaughtered there. The bodies were sent to their parents in dozens of pieces. I will request you to be a part, like atrocities everywhere in the world, there's atrocities, and we will continue our resistance against these atrocities and operations. It doesn't matter if it's in Palestine, if it's in Pakistan, or wherever in the world. That's how this community has been brought up. I will request you, if you don't have much information, ask us. Google it. There's a lot of information on Google. So this is a very big opportunity for us and for you to raise the voice for the people of Palestine. The road is still closed, and we were having only one aeroplane, which was a 4-seater, and there was another big helicopter that was trying to take the seriously ill people or injured people, or those who were having chronic diseases. They tried to transport them, but Now what the army did, they have started a new war with Afghanistan, and they have grounded every single aeroplane that you cannot operate because it's very risky to operate. Brothers and sisters, like I said, from this platform, please raise your voice for Palestine. Atrocities happening in Palestine, and the state-funded terrorists, and those who are running the state do not listen to the cries of the people, but they are just enjoying their own luxuries. It's full of the corrupt people. And we always resist against that, and we will continue our resistance, and we will continue to stand with Palestine, to stand with the people of Palestine until we get the justice. Thank you so much, brother and sister, for your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Efron. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
None of us are free until we are all free. When we say free Palestine, we say free Pakistan. We say free Sudan. We say free Black Australia. We say free West Papua. We say free the world. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Our next speaker before we march needs no introduction. An Palestinian activist who you all know and see every single week in, week out, the symbol of Palestinian resistance and resilience. Please join me in welcoming Tasnim Samak. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Thank you, everyone. We stand here today and we acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the Wurundjeri people, and pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Always was, always will be.
Aboriginal land!
So yes, this is the last rally of 2024. But it is not the last rally for Gaza. It is not the last rally for Palestine, and that is because there is an ongoing military campaign on Gaza that is well overdue for a ceasefire, that is well overdue to be wrapped up. It is time for accountability and justice, but we can't even get there because the bombs will not stop dropping over Gaza. Shame!
Shame!
It's a holiday time. It's a time for us to be with our children, with our families, for all of you to also be on holidays. But we come out here onto the streets. We have the nurses here who are working overtime during the holidays, standing for Palestine. We have all of you who are from working backgrounds standing for Palestine. This is what it's come to. That over 14 months of bombardment, of very clear genocide and ethnic cleansing, all we see is an acceleration of the genocide. All we see is the world getting closer and closer to documenting this final solution of the Gaza genocide. That means that the genocide and ethnic cleansing project is near completion. That is what Israel is talking about when it says it's getting closer to a ceasefire. All that means is that their military objectives, their ethnic cleansing campaign is coming closer to an end because they have destroyed, as they stated on day one, they have destroyed every single livable, viable place in Gaza. Shame. Shame that we have to stand here week in and week out to condemn the torching of hospitals. Shame. And when we talk about history, I don't think this has been seen. This has been committed by any state power that human history has ever witnessed. This This atrocity of targeting hospitals, this having to wake up and see medics lined up for execution, patients lined up, detained, over 250 detained. But that's not all the atrocity is. It's that there's been over 70 days of this attack on this hospital. This besiegement, this incursion into the hospital. Shame. And for what? Why would any state power attack a hospital? It's condemnable by all measures. And yet, it happens. It happens. It's becoming naturalized. It's becoming normalized. Now when we see it, there's very little outrage because we've seen it happen to every single hospital in Gaza. Israel has normalized the atrocities that it is committing in the most sacred place, the place of healing, to target patients, to torch every single ward in that hospital. Israel is telling the world exactly who it is. But not only that, it is standing belligerent and defiant and saying no one can stop me, and the world is saying, yes, go ahead, we will not stop you. That is what we were told is the rules of the jungle. That is what these civilized nations told us is pre-modernity. Of course, we know that modernity was simply a lie. Modernity was only built on atrocities like the ones we're seeing now in real time. And now we're going into 2025 and everybody's talking about New Year's resolutions. How about the end of the siege on Gaza? How about
Ceasefire now!
ceasefire now?
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
And it's not only the situation in Gaza that is at an accelerated rate that we've never seen before. This is the first time that we've seen this amount of military aggression in terms of scale and pace. From day one till now, I'm not sure what day it is, the acceleration, the aggression of the military campaign is unprecedented. And that takes us to that question, how could this even be possible resource-wise? It's possible because the resources that belong to average people, such as building hospitals in the United States and schools, those resources that people have worked for, they are going to the war machine. This war machine is manufacturing weapons just to send them to Israel to commit these atrocities. They have shown us that they have endless supply of ammunition, endless supply of tanks, endless supply of fighter jets. Each one of these costs billions of dollars, millions of dollars. And for what? For what? To clear out the land in Gaza, and so Trump can come in and create real estate property in Gaza that looks like Tel Aviv. Is that the kind of world values that we are all now consenting to around the world? It's a shame, and it's not enough for us to say shame. It's time for us to say enough. Enough is enough is enough. We keep saying this, but we really need to embody this much more and much better this coming year. We need to realize that the government will not step in. Stop appealing to governments. Governments are signing off on these atrocities. What we need is for people, working people, to gain the power to end the supply of arms to Israel. That is how it's done. It needs to be all of you who show up here. Showing up is one thing.
organizing your communities is another. Each one of us, we need to take that time out from our regular activities, go out there, get organized. I don't care which organization you're in, get organized, start an organization, be in a group. Unions were built. They didn't exist before. Then they won the 8-hour day. Then they won Medicare. They didn't exist. So if the unions today are not doing what's needed, you become the union. You intervene. We need to intervene. World powers are very good at creating passive populations. And that is what's happening here to us in our movement as well. We are being dragged into passivity where we start to feel that it's not in our hands, that what is happening is so gruesome, but it's out of our hands. We need to defy this. We need to move past it. The reason why they are attacking our movement is exactly because we do have that agency, we do have that power. We need to get that together. We need to, all around the world, stand up for Palestine and the atrocity. Enough is enough is enough. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Sneem. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Resistance is justified. When people are occupied.
When people are occupied.
Resistance is justified.
Resistance is justified.
When people are occupied.
When people are occupied.
I am inspired by each and every single one of you. Looking out into the crowd, the weather is nice. We are in what we call a holiday period. And each and every single one of you have decided that there is no place more important to be on your Sunday than here at this protest. Each and every single one of you over the last 449 days have shown us what resistance looks like. You have shown us what determination looks like. You have shown us what solidarity looks like. Maintain the momentum, maintain the drive. Please continue to show up and stand up for Palestine every single day of the week, as you have been for the last 449 days. Before we start marching, I want to acknowledge the fact that obviously these protests, we've seen bigger numbers. We've seen bigger numbers. Many people have stopped coming for many reasons, due to capacity, etc., etc. We are building a mass rally on the 12th of January. Please make sure that you tell each and every single person you know, the people that used to show up and the people who have never come before. Tell them that there is no place more important to be. 12 o'clock, Sunday the 12th of January, here outside of the State Library. Show up and stand up for Palestine, because none of us are free until we are all free. We need to shout as loud as we can through the streets of Melbourne and make sure that everyone knows that we stand on the right side of history. We're going to be holding that space with refugees as well, the refugee community. So when you're standing up for Palestine, you're also standing up for the rights of refugees who are denied permanent visas here on this continent. Our government is supporting genocide across the world and continues to deny refugees visas here on this continent. So we need to demand visas for refugees. Permanent visas for refugees. Continue to show up. Continue to advocate for Palestine as much as you can every single day of the week. And rain, hail or shine, we show up for Palestine. Rain, hail or shine,
bathroom and then... I need to find my Victoria and get some water. Where are we going? Solidarity sign.
That's how I found you, because I saw her son and then I saw like a picture of your hat. Yeah.
She's part of a different
Oh really?
She's part of a council discussion, like his side. I'd go to actually I just saw her, I went up to her now and she hasn't saw it. And I was like, hi, same side. Then that guy, Mohammed, he's running in for the Greens, Capital Council, and he took a photo with the two of us. Signs, and I was like, okay. Sure. I was like, wow, really? Like, I'm putting myself out there a bit. That's not recording audio, is it?
I don't know. I think it is.
I was at a rally a few months ago, and there were, I think Channel 7 or something, they saw my son and they wanted to like do something weird. I'm like, and they went to her. She also had a good son. I just can't speak. I'm just so stupid. I wish I could because I have so much to say, but I
Get your disability rating or something. I don't know, yeah.
Excuse me guys, we need to get the sound trolley through. Excuse me, we need to get the sound trolley through.
Who do you think you are?
Right.
Can you carry me?
Can I carry you? I think I can. I don't know if you noticed, I'm very small. Yeah, I'm actually free.
another ship around. Turn another ship around. Yemen, Yemen, make us proud. Yemen, Yemen, make us proud. Turn another ship around. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. From the sea to the river. Palestine will live forever. Palestine will live forever. That's your cry. That's your cry. We will never let you die. We will never